Good afternoon, everybody. I was told I had to get anniversary dressed, so I couldn't come up here looking like anything. So I'm trying to be sure I met the standard. I try to be sure, she gonna be a while. She gonna be a few extra minutes, so I'm just waiting patiently. And while I'm waiting, I'm just saying, Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. You know what? I think that's probably the consensus. I think everybody wondering what the heck she gonna have on. Heck, I'm wondering. I'm wondering myself what the heck she gonna have on. We are anniversary ready. So I hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're doing well. So it's good to see y'all. We didn't get dressed up in a while. I couldn't even find anything. I put all my winter stuff up. I could barely find anything. Of course, the woman of God had stuff on deck. She didn't had stuff shipped from all over the world, China, Budapest. Stuff has come from everywhere. So she was ready. I said, let me just find something. You're gonna have me out here looking raggedy, and you getting dressed. And I ain't gonna look raggedy today. Now I ain't gonna look like nobody's throwed away child. So thank you all for
you was waiting for me.
It wouldn't be right. There's just no other way.
That's too close. They ain't gonna be able to see me.
It's just.
I hate y'all. Right. I'll sashay slowly back through here. Huh?
And
then I'm gonna bring it back.
It just. It wouldn't be.
Scoot over, babe.
Scoot over. The camera. You want to get out the camera?
Let me. Y'all.
Ready. Ready.
Hey,
Anna.
Hey,
anniversary
sugar.
Ready. Anniversary ready. We ready.
Yes, honey.
So it is our 12 year. Dress. Earrings yet a dangling. Emerald.
Yeah, emerald, honey.
Emerald. Shining sequence.
Yes, honey.
So,
I'll have to be sure when this is over to get a full body, baby.
Right. So even though the city is pretty much, for the most part open back up, we slowly tiptoeing back out and stuff. So we ain't done a whole lot yet, and I think we just literally gonna go to dinner and come back home. But we wanted to spend our birthday with our anniversary.
Yes, what is our wedding birthday?
Our birthday with y'all, and just kind of give you all a couple things that we have learned in this 12-year journey. So we ain't gonna be before you very long. That's how the old folks say. we ain't gonna hold you long. We ain't gonna hold you long, but we want to hold you for a little bit.
I'll hold you for a little bit.
Since we pulled up, we decided we might as well.
We pulled up. Emerald City.
Emeralds. Emeralds.
Boom.
Yes. Emeralds. All right. So before we start, listen, if you have not already, we got to go through all of our formalities. If you have not already, you can like and subscribe, Friends with the Friends. We've got some more content that we're preparing to push out over the next, couple of weeks that we're going to be sharing with you all. So you want to be sure, because there'll be moments where it's not going to be a live that you see. We've got some stuff that we're working on that's a little bit more pre-recorded as well. So we want you all to be ready. So like and subscribe. I don't know what to tell y'all to click.
We ain't that fancy yet. We ain't that fancy.
We just act like we know. You
don't know, babe. Don't worry about it.
Just click right there.
It's going to be up here. Watch.
Right. Or click up, click down, click somewhere if you want to like and subscribe to the page. Also, there is a super chat feature. So if you desire, of course, y'all know it ain't ever no pressure, but if you desire to support this page in any way, there is a little $sign on the bottom of the chat. You can click that and you can give any amount that you desire. We appreciate, and we'll try to holler out for as many of them as we see. But we appreciate all of your support of what it is that we're doing. And our comeback, this has really this has been just a month, I think. We are just in the early stages, maybe 6 weeks of coming back. Because we were on almost a 2-year YouTube hiatus. Now, she was always on IG doing her thing, and I was on a little bit of Facebook and IG both. But this is
Girl,
really,
honey, you
it's on, but it's warm.
warm.
This is you. You keep a hot house. You keep a house like hell. I try to keep it as heavenly as I can. You keep a house like hell. All right, so we were on like a 2-year YouTube hiatus. But I'm glad to be back, and this is for us like a perfect platform to be able to share with you all consistently and to just kind of give some marriage and some life nuggets. So here we are tonight on our anniversary night, and we're gonna give you all 12 things. We're gonna give y'all 12 things we have learned in the course of the last 12 years together. Now we've been married 12 years, but I feel like I've known this woman her whole life.
I know like it's been
19 years. Yeah. Cause I was right at 20.
Yeah.
When you met me. Now, for those of you that don't know, and you can check out some of our other videos. When Phineka found me, she robbed the cradle. She's got a couple years on me. She's got a couple years on me. I'm significantly younger.
Wow.
And you can't tell it because she still got that young face, but she's significantly older than me. I mean, if we start counting days and months, it's on up there. It's more than 17 months. So it's on up there, guys. It's on up there. So she's significantly older, but God did good. The cougar found her prey. I did. The cougar found her prey. All right. So we have been a part of. Thank you so much. We have been a part of one another's lives for. We've literally grown up together. Before my 21st birthday, it was a little bit after hers, but we've been around each other for a while.
Yes.
So I'll let you start. We're gonna give y'all 12 things we've learned, and I think that's actually a good segue for you to start.
You want me to start? Okay. So I like to start with this one. We was talking through it kind of today. I mean, like 15 minutes ago today. Just
because she had her list of stuff. I had my list of stuff.
I did, and we just now trying to merge them together.
And what do we kick out and what do we keep? And so we kept most of hers.
I would say for me, in my 20s, early 20s, and all these things, I said, this is the type of guy I want to marry.
Right.
Okay. I want one with a little bit of edge, a lot of hood, and Jesus. I want a real big and bulky. And I had all of these things that I thought I wanted. Right. And, people always laughed at how you were in my life before I had Ashrel, years before I had Ashrel, and, was in that relationship and all these things. And I was so focused on what I thought aesthetically I wanted or what I thought paired better with me, never thinking in mind of my future. Never having those things in mind, just kind of what I want for right now. And what I've learned in marriage and with being with you is that you need to marry for your purpose. You need to be praying and asking God for your purpose partner. I look at some of those people that I thought that's where I wanted to be. And I look at their lives now and I say, wow, that was really what I was desiring.
Thank you, Marquita.
Jesus. But I am so grateful that something in me matured to say, I need to be looking for something for my future, not just right now. And I believe what else has sustained our marriage is we have learned the purpose of our marriage. We are legit purpose partners.
Absolutely.
And even when times got tough, And even when we, consider like, is this the thing I want to keep going after? Or do I want, we want to part and we want to go our separate ways. Our future was calling us. And since our future was calling us, we had to fix our present. We had to fix our right now because our future was calling for us. And I believe that when you are praying, if you're single, pray for your purpose partner. We can have all this other stuff we want, but I've seen people marry the wrong partner and they thought it was good for the moment. And once they started to ascend and once things started to happen for them, that other one began to sabotage because they wasn't a purpose partner. Purpose partner meaning I esteem you higher than me. I want to push you to the place that I know that you are destined to go. And I trust your love for me is not going to be something that you leave me. We in this thing where people feel like, oh, this partner is this, this spouse is doing better and this one is leaving me. Sure. But when you see that together, that there is a common place we're trying to get, then I think it alleviates some of those things.
So what you just said to all 500 people in here right now is you almost missed me.
I almost missed you.
I mean, I was sitting right here. I was right here waiting. I don't mind. I had to wait, y'all. I had to wait,
and it would have saved me some heartache. It would have saved me, a lot of heartache. What I thought I wanted in the moment. Yeah. But I'm talking about even now looking at us 19 years.
Absolutely.
This is the thing. When I met you at 20 years old, I knew you would be doing this.
Sure.
The Lord showed it to me. I knew you would be doing this. I just didn't think that I would be with you in this context. But I am thankful to God that I am, but I also believe that we are purpose partners. Absolutely. I don't believe you would have got here without me.
Now, if I'm honest, that's the God honest truth. Now,
let them see this makeup. Why? Well, I pause on that one.
Now, the same way the same way I laugh about her almost missing me. The truth is, I think because our purposes are connected and married just as much as we are married as people, our purposes are as well. I wouldn't be the man I am sitting here today if I would not have found the purpose that matched where God was ultimately taking me.
It's purpose over type.
Yep.
It's purpose over type.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying go out and marry something that look bad. Now that ain't what I'm saying. So let me clear that up. Let me clear that up. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But some of this stuff that we think are I just I don't know. I could have missed him because I said I thought he was too small. He was too slim. I said slim, not small.
I've been 6 feet, 6'1" since you met me.
That's right. That's right. But he was slim. And I said, well, typically I don't, do slim guys, but you sure look good to me now.
Amen. No, don't even want no sugar on that. God bless you. God bless you. All right. Let's go number 2 because we got 11 more to give you in the next 45 minutes, and we're gonna get here.
Y'all excuse my eyes; they're just doing the most tonight.
Here's number 2, and I'm gonna run through this one quick. This is for every currently married couple and everyone that's aspiring for marriage. This is not a word of condemnation for those that have been through it, but this is a word that speaks to your right now and your current context and situation. And here it is. Divorce is a cuss word. Okay, I need y'all to say it with me. Divorce is a cuss word. If you say that you want to divorce me or that you want out without any real reasoning behind it, you might as well equate to you cussing me out. And here's why I say that. When you cut covenant with someone who is a partner of your purpose, what we often miss and what we don't have enough, what I would call schooling, education, or counseling through is how we manage the dips coming out of what we call honeymoon seasons, coming off of high tops or mountaintop experiences, how we go in the valley and survive the valley without choking one another out or saying that we want to get out of it because it's not working the way that we want it. Because you're always, now here's the hardest part I think I've had to learn. Phineka is not LaBryant. So because Phineka is not LaBryant, she does not think like LaBryant. She does not move like LaBryant. She does nothing she does is like me. As a matter of fact, I often think she's a little touched. Everything ain't there the way it's supposed to. All right, everything ain't there how it's supposed to be. All right?
Jesus.
But what we've had to learn, and this is something we have had to learn over time in the course of marriage, because there have been days when we have laid in the bed at 3 a.m. and said, you know what, maybe it's better if you go your way, I go mine, and it just is what it is. What we had to figure out for us, and I think for every covenant that God cuts in the earth, there will always be levels of warfare that come to divide the covenant. That's why many of you, when you got married, the pastor or whoever stood before you said, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. We often think about another person intruding on our marriage, but very often the man that pulls it apart, it often starts in the vows. Okay, so you have to commit to your commitment. You have to commit to your covenant and say, you know what, no matter what, we got in this, and come hell or high water, we're going to work our way through. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't think that there's much that a marriage cannot survive if two people are willing to work through it. And that's two people willing to work. I don't think that there's just much that cannot be survived. Now, I would never tell anybody they've got to stay in abusive situations. I would never tell anyone that they've got to stay in a situation where they are constantly being cheated on. But I will say that when two people are willing to work, I've seen it happen time and time again. God restore what seemed like it was thrown away and could never be used again. Okay, so divorce is a cuss word.
And also, hell wants to come. A lot of times, what Satan does, and I ain't even trying to be deep, is not come against you, the person. He's trying to come against your purpose. And so what he does is he sends distractions, not to kill you, but to keep your focus off of what you were created for. And the same with a marriage. He knows why hell comes at a marriage is so hard is this is depiction of Christ and his bride, the church. So what he wants to do is not only distort the church, the actual physical place, but he does it in marriages. Why do you all see these, all of these people, when we see these pastors or whatever and things of cheating and all of these nature, if I have a view of marriage, then I'm going to also have a view of the church, because this is God's depiction of marriage in the earth, is husband and wife. And I would segue into the next one, which is the big cuss word, bigger than the word divorce, is the word submission.
Okay, so that's number 3, y'all. Number 3, go ahead.
Is submission. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Submission. Submission is not a dirty word, ladies. Even in this who run the world, girls, who run the world, girls, who run this, even in all of that, girls, okay, there is still a word that's called submission. Our husbands didn't make it up. We find it even in the word of God, that husbands are over to take lead, to take charge over the wife. And a lot of times people are like, I can do everything, but don't say that. Don't say that. And then people equate things like finances and all of these things to submission. Like, where does that even come in at? If you're not in a certain bracket, then I can't even, I can't be submissive. That's crazy. And I do know women who make more money than their husbands. And guess what? I know some women that I'm talking about, some show enough boss chicks, and they still submitted.
Right.
And even when we first was early on in our marriage, if you watched our other videos where we talked about I was the breadwinner the first few months of our marriage, I never approached it at a place as I'm the head of this house. I still did what I do now. Hey, I want to get this hairstyle. And see, let me give you something practical. Because I want to give you something practical. I even little things like that, I consult him on. Not because he asked me, but I value his opinion. And if here's something that he thinks I look nice in or whatever, I'm going to ask him. So no, I ain't just going to be out here running around here like a chicken with my head cut off and just saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make these purchases and I'm going to buy this and I'm going to do my hair like this and I'm going to do all these type of things without submitting it unto him. Even I train my children. Mama, such and such and such, let's ask daddy. Because I think it's something even parents, we have to train even in children. And I think it was something that was, so ingrained in me from my grandparents. That is one thing I am so thankful about. And sometimes you say, well, dang, can you just tell us an answer? But now that I'm older, I understand what it was when my grandma said, let's bring your grandfather in on and let's have his voice weigh in on it. Now, this is what I feel about it. But now if your granddaddy say something else and that's what it is, and that's the way we have even been. And I think that's something we have modeled in here. And some people have looked at me like, well, we young. I wouldn't do all that. It's your head. You do what you want to do.
Sure.
And that's not the attitude to have, guys.
So, and here's the best way I look at it, because I'm going to tie submission into number 4. If you literally break the word apart, sub simply means to come under, and it means mission. It means together we have decided a direction that we're going, and I'm willing to come under it. So submission simply means that together we have decided on a direction, and I'm willing to come underneath where it is we're going together. Now, I'm going to tell you all why that's important, because it goes into what my number 4 is. Because submission is a two-way street. It is impossible, even when you read like Ephesians 5, when it starts dealing with the word submission, it spends a verse and a half, maybe 2 verses, telling the wives what submission looks like. But then it spends the next 8 verses talking to the men about what submission is.
That's right.
Because submission doesn't just go one way.
Yeah.
It is here's what I have learned. I have watched it happen time and time again. Anytime my life stayed submitted to Christ, I have never had one issue with Phineka following where we were going, ever. But in moments, and there have been in the 12 years we've been married, where I wasn't as sober in my thinking and my movements, and I was acting out of haste or out of a desire or out of a selfish will more than I was coming out of, I was coming from under submission to God myself. Now, those are the places where we typically would have our most interesting interactions as it pertains to what's actually going on in the context of this marriage. So submission ain't bad, because we both got to come under. All right, we're both coming under something. We're both under submission. We can always be going in the same direction or accomplishing the same mission at the same time. So here's why that's important. That whole submission piece is important, because number 4 is, and this is for the husbands, be something worth following. This is for every man that's already a husband, and this is for every man that aspires to be a husband. Be something that the women in your life would want to follow. All right. Live a life and have the type of vision and direction that says to the one who's called to compliment and help you, I want to be a part of helping to build that. All right. So I want you to hear me really, 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 really clear. Every man in this chat, the clearer vision you have about where you all are going, the easier it will be for the one God has called to compliment you to come underneath. And as a matter of fact, and I'm going to take this, I'm going to drive it just a little bit further. I don't just have vision for what God is going to do for our family. I've got vision for what I see God doing in my wife as well. All right. So because I've got vision for me, I've got vision for us, and I have vision, or I believe levels of insight of what God is doing in her. I can speak clearly to those pieces. And even if she doesn't see it, I can push her into it. Case in point, this dang mentorship program. Guys, I want y'all to hear me, and I want you to hear me well.
Ooh, do we have to say this?
We do. We have to say it in front of the line. I have been talking about it for at least a year and a half, if not 2 years, that what I see when I see my wife is it's not just a mother or an auntie or a mentor. I see a woman that has streams in her that have yet to be released from their damming space. And I think I've given her a ton of grace in waiting for children to get a little bit older and for us to stop going through all these other pieces. But now, and I think probably now more than ever, I'm putting pressure on those places of purpose in her because I see pieces in her that need to come to the surface. All right. So because I can speak to those places clearly and I can mirror those places with where we're going together and how we're going to get there, it's not as hard for her to follow me in and through those pieces. All right. So men, be something worth following. Have vision for your life. Have vision for your family. Have vision for if you say that God is calling you into covenant with something, he never creates a covenant without a call on it. Yeah. So anytime he cuts covenant, there's also a call and or an assignment that is attached to it. So you've got to be able to speak clearly to the covenant, about the covenant, to the call of where we are all going. All right.
Can I add just one quick thing?
Sure.
Just as, okay, so in our marriage, I am considered probably the seer. Okay. A lot of times God will deal with me and show me something and I'll bring it to him. He'll be like, I don't know. And before I would get very, very frustrated because I'm like, oh, so you don't trust the God in me. If you're not saying, and that was the wrong approach. And I want to be very clear here, and I want to be very transparent here that women, even if God shows you something pertaining to your husband, pertaining to something that you all are doing, this is what I started doing. I literally, for real, did a whole war room. Like I would put it down, I would write it down, I would literally pray over that thing, and I would say, God, please reveal this to him in a way, that he sees you, or God, sweeten my mouth so when I open my mouth, let honey flow out. Let him understand my heart. It wasn't not respect, because I know he respects me. But sometimes the Lord will show me something just in haste. I would say, no, we don't need to, we don't need to do. And when I started stepping back and I started praying through that thing, he would come and be like, babe, today I was driving and the Lord said, and I'm like, and so I wanted to just tell a practical way, because like I said, sometimes it's very easy for us, if you are the seer in your relationship, to get puffed up to say, well, God already showed me that. That is not the way to handle those things, even with submission. But I also want to segue into our number 5. So number 1 was purpose over types. Number 2, divorce is a cuss word. Number 3, submission. Number 4, be something worth following. Now we're on number 5. Do what works for your marriage.
Your marriage.
Let's again. Do what works
for your house.
For your marriage,
for your
house, and for your kids.
I don't care how your mama and them did it. I don't care how grandma and them did it. I don't care how the Joneses is doing it up the street.
House.
Do it for your house.
Case in point, I was raised up. They cussed at us every move we made. My husband wasn't raised that way. It was get your so-and-so up. And the first time asking, it was just like, my goodness. This is your first time asking. My goodness.
I got cussed out the first time I walked in the house.
I never met her grandma. Come out the gate cussing us out. And that was something that we decided we did not want to do with our children. Yeah. Okay. We also said we didn't want to just be knocking our kids out and all of these threatening and all this here stuff. Some of the things I grew up with. we realized that was not something we wanted to do in our home, something we wanted to do with our kids. When we go to my family functions, they make fun of us. They say stuff like, well, you know, they don't discipline their kids. They do time out. You know, they don't think they the same color as us. You know, they feel like something wrong with them. You know, ain't that wrong with them? They all right. They all right. And you know what? A lot of us have needed a lot of counseling. And a lot of us had needed a lot of stuff dealing with our self-esteem because, you know, some of that stuff. And I don't think the heart posture is wrong. Sometimes what we have to do, you know what I'm saying, as parents, whatever we going on our day is make sure not to project that stuff off on our children. And so we had to start saying, hey, we don't want to do some of those things. So we're going to do it a little bit different and where it works for us. And before, you know, because, and I wasn't ever cussing at my kids. I always thought that was stupid. I thought it was stupid even as a kid. I got a lot of whoopings because I thought it was stupid. And I would voice my opinion that, wow, you know, I have 2 ears. Pop, you know, you do a lot of yelling. Pop, you know, so I just, you know, it's just what it was. But you have to do what works for your house. Okay. And so for us, what's funny about us, most people view women as the bigger nurturer. Okay. Even though y'all see me out here hugging on folk and I love on folk. Now I love real hard. I mean, you ain't gonna love me. But nurturing, you know, I probably should have had all boys, maybe. You know, I'm just a little tougher. Grandma said,
hold on. Let me qualify.
Okay.
She's gotten a lot better. And I want to be honest. What you see when she posts, when the girls are underneath her, they love to be with their mama. Like I think they legitimately, they like being with her more than they enjoy being with me. Mama is fun. And I think that nurturing over the years has definitely gotten stronger.
Yeah.
Now, but when it comes down to it, these are daddy's girls. And when it comes down to it, they're going to hop in my lap. I'm going to love them hard. Between the both of us, I can count on a couple fingers how many times they've actually got like in trouble.
Listen,
but I'm probably the bigger nurturer, and I think that's the reason why God sent us girls. I think we had to have girls because in those sense it brought something to life in me that was not there having all these little women. But yeah, we decided to do what works for our marriage. So, you know, case in point, we will in the night watching 2-3 Law and Orders and Criminal Minds. We'll talk about those parts in a moment. But we've learned what works best for us, time that works best for us. Phineka is a loner. Okay. So Phineka will be fine sitting on the couch watching Hallmark with her feet propped up. I can go in the gym and work out for 2 hours, and she's fine. She ain't nothing bothering her. But in that same sense, I grew up with parents that always stayed in other rooms. I mean, always in opposite spaces. And I said, you know what? I don't want to be to the point where we are never together. You have your space, watch a little Hallmark. I can tell you what's going to happen when I show up. I can tell you exactly how the thing going in. But we still created time to build something that works for our house.
And listen, ladies, space is not a bad thing. The Bible even speaks about it, okay? It's okay. You should want to give your spouse space because, hey, listen, I like space too. So listen, so you have to do those things, and we want to be practical in what we're saying. I know some of it we weaving in just in fun, but these are things that really was some things we had to work on because the longest we were looking at the way his father was. He was thinking the way my grandfather was, and it took us a while really to get a balance of what worked best for our house. Especially when I started to travel, you know, we both come from families with really strong gender specific roles for women and what they thought women should do, and for men, and so I felt guilty in certain things. And once we started saying, "Hey, that's their marriage, that ain't us," it literally took the guilt away. And a lot of times I was just scared to almost move because I was like, this is going to make me a bad parent. Sure. If I have these ambitions and dreams, because I was taught, if you didn't do all you do before you have children, because once you have children, those dreams are over.
But I think it goes back to, and I'm going to go to number 6.
Yeah.
It goes back to being able to see what God sees in your spouse.
Yeah.
So in times that Phineka would want to stay home and say, I can't go do this, or I can't go do this engagement because we got kids, I'd be like, no, you can go, and we're going to figure out what we got to figure out for the kids.
Right.
If I've got to stay and be still, if we got to bring somebody in to watch them, if we got to fly somebody in to be able to stay with them, you're going to go do the doggone thing, no matter how we got to work this piece out.
And I sure thank you for that. I know I'm serious. I think, it was crazy. I often tell people, I stopped preaching for like 5 years. I was preaching before I married my husband, and I found myself back preaching on a flyer I saw on Facebook, and my face was on Facebook, and I kept saying, who is these people? And I'm preaching, what? No, I ain't did this. And I came to him and he said, oh yeah, I'm sick of this. It's time for you to get back out there. These kids are big enough and you act like I'm over here chopped liver and I can't take care of my kids like I'm a babysitter or something. I am their father. And I know this is something that you're called to do. And so I thank God that he did not, because that wouldn't have happened in my family. That wouldn't have happened in my family. And so I was so thankful that my dreams did not have to die. And sometimes I kept saying, well, I got kids now, so maybe I shouldn't even aspire to do some of those things. So I just want to encourage a mother, even on here, that you do not have to give up on your dreams. You do not have to give up on some of your goals. Yeah. Having kids is not a sentencing, guys. It is not something to say my life stops and I can only push my husband and I can only push my kids. There is still things that are left in you to do, and there's still people waiting on you to arrive and to show up and to do all God has put on the inside of you. So you have to do what works for your marriage.
Absolutely. Number 6. I'm going to start. We got 6 more to go.
I'm sorry. I speed them up. I'm sorry.
You good.
I'm talking long. I'm sorry.
We're both going back and forth on them. I just want to be sure we don't hold the people of God too long. Here's number 6. Never stop evolving. Never stop evolving. Number 6.
My eyes are leaky, guys. Excuse
never
me.
Stop evolving. Never stop evolving. And I'm going to tell y'all why that's important. I married Phineka 12 years ago, but she is not the same woman I married 12 years ago. I met Phineka about almost this October, be 19 years ago, but she's not the same woman I met 19 years ago. If at any point you box your spouse into the space where you met them, you jeopardize stunning their growth and development into who they're really called to be. You meet them in one space and you evolve together. Where most marriages have faulty pieces in their foundation, it all begins to happen when the evolution stops. Or one person evolves, the other person evolves, and we make a decision to evolve in opposite directions. That's why people can be married for 20 years, but as soon as that last kid graduates from high school, they down there signing divorce papers. All right, because they kept evolving. Because no matter what, you're gonna keep growing. You're gonna keep becoming something. But I think that it is dangerous to limit your spouse to the space where you met them and think that that was the totality of their dreams, their purpose, their desires. That's why you've got to see them for what they are before they actually get there. If you're not married yet, you want somebody that can see you beyond your today and see you for what you're going to be. Because if they lock you into where they met you, they will soon find out that there's another version of you that they have not met. I ain't the same person I was 12 years ago, for sure.
And I think that what has probably helped us is we try to do checks and balances, right? So a lot of times when we will have our anniversaries, we'll start kind of checking off some things we kind of got right, some things we did. We'll start to say, like, these are some goals or these are some areas I really want to grow in. I mean, even go back to the nurturing, it was something, he would say, babe, don't just push them off. You say they need a little air. And so that started saying, you know what, you're right. I need to work in that area. And I'm trying to give practical pieces. And it's something that I started saying, I'm going to be intentional about this area. And this is the way we grow. This is the way we evolve. But if we stop talking to each other and saying, this is kind of what I need from you, and this is what, that's how you evolve in different directions. Because even as I'm getting better this year at year 12, I want to be a better wife than I was at year 11. Even in my evolving process, I'm saying I want to keep upgrading. I still want to keep being a better version of me for my family and for my future. So I think when we even say evolving, we have to put on our mind, what is kind of the end goal here. And I'm always saying, man, in my prayer time, and I'm just letting y'all in on my private prayer time, I'm always saying, God, help me, to be a better wife. Show me, train me. You know what I mean? Sure. And even as I'm evolving, let us do this, because this is the thing. I am Safety City. Okay.
Shit.
My husband.
I'm the skydiver. I'm the mountain climber. I'm the one that'll wake up tomorrow and say, hey, let's go to Budapest.
Absolutely.
Just for the heck of it.
And sometimes I have to say to myself in my private, Lord, let my heart be okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me resolve things a little bit quicker as we're evolving, because I don't want to be the thing to hold us back too, or hold him back even in his evolving process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because guys, I'm always gonna be the one to take a chance.
Go ahead, honey.
Go ahead, honey. Take a chance. I'm the one. I'm gonna jump out and just do it. And if it don't work, that's just the way I'm wired. But it's because we're always evolving. Now, I read something in the chat, and I want to address it real quick. And Phineka, you got to jump straight to number 7.
Okay, I missed it.
I don't want. There was a comment that came up in the chat that said, almost to the extent of I felt like I had to surrender my dreams because I became a wife, and I want you to unlock yourself from a prison sentence that says you can't be anything but a wife. A wife is just, I don't know many wives that only carry one title. It's a facet of who you are, but it's not the totality of who you are. I want you to get courageous enough to dream again, to go after it, to put a plan together, and to believe that there is more in you than just one singular facet of how you've been seen.
Yeah, and also, in that, a lot of times is what we were taught as children, women. I'm talking to women. And so we feel like we cannot hope or inspire to do anything. So let me just go back there. Listen, unlock yourself. Have a real conversation with your husband. You all should, and these are some of the things you need to sit down and do if you haven't done them yet. What are some things you still want to do that you hadn't done yet? I know we've been married 12 years because these are things that I'm constantly, we're constantly talking about, and I want to keep it practical. So even whoever made that post, that's something you need to sit down with your spouse. I still aspire to do this. And so, if you can just, kind of help me and support me as I'm trying to do this, that is a great conversation starter. And a lot of times I always tell people, this person we say, I'm going to stand before God and before people and say, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And this is the one person a lot of times, or the last person we go to talk to, because fear sets in of what they're going to say. Now, if I'm saying I'm going to be with you, Parker, for the rest of my life, then I got to get over that fear. And I have to figure out how I'm going to communicate with you, or it will be a daily prison. Because you will be sitting here with all of these things you want to do, but you are scared to communicate it to the one that you're supposed to be communicating to. And when you don't do that, beloved, I'm going to move into number 7, fighting fair. When you do not tell some of those expectations and you expect them to somehow get in your mind and know what it is you want, and because you done suppressed it so long, then it's like a volcano arise out, and then nice Patty is gone, and you acting a fool and you clowning, because a lot of it is, I am resenting. I feel like you can go out and do some things that I can't. You know, we laugh a lot of times. I say, well, you go preach, we get your clothes together and you go. I go preach, I'm prepping food, I'm ironing clothes, I'm laying out stuff for kids or whoever's watching them, doing both of us doing ministry. You know, my role is just a little bit different when I get ready to go. But but if I did not go, okay, and he was the only one going, and I stayed back doing all of those things, I'm going to resent him and feel some type of way and use it. That's what makes the little nastiness come up in our marriages. And so then, you know, as ladies, we know how to go for the jugular. We know how to cut deep. We know how to go low. We know how to push that button. You know what I'm saying? And so what you have to train yourself is, I am upset with you, but I still respect your personhood. So I'm not going to call him an MFer. I'm not going to call him I'm not going to call him, I'm not going to call him any of those things, even things I grew up hearing. Because even in me being upset with him about whatever, I still respect the person. I still respect the man. And so even when I talk to him, I'm going to come to a level that I'm talking to the man, even when I'm airing out my grievance. And I think, you know, he often said a lot of times, if you're not praying, how do you say it?
It's hard to stay angry with a spouse or with an individual that you're interceding for.
Yes. And so, and I say this, and I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just thanking God, because I know it's all God, that we don't argue like that and we don't cut up like that. Because once he started, listen, this man started praying and stuff like that. And when I would get mad, I'm talking about early on in our marriage, and I was like, you proud you want to? I'm still mad over here, fam. My heart was just, then I would just feel like crap, like he's still praying for me and he's still covering me. And I know I done acted a fool today. And it was something started saying, oh my God, what if I adopt this model? So if I get upset, let me begin to pray a little bit more. And God taught me the ways to approach him, to say things, and it alleviated a lot of just some of that silliness, you know.
And so someone just asked, have there ever been times that you got angry because you had to keep telling them the same thing over and over? Absolutely. I think that's every husband. Let's just be honest. I mean, there are moments, our attention span is
sometimes I say the opposite, because I feel like men just do the opposite. So I tell them what I really don't want them to do, and then he end up doing what I want.
I think we do the same thing. I think we are, you know, we do the opposite. And then, but
I mean, honey, that don't change it. No man, baby.
The truth is,
Jesus,
there are moments that, because of the multiplicity of hats I wear away from here, that Phineka can say something in the morning, but by the time I get home that evening, I would have already forgotten. And you know, I thank God for a grace-giving wife. I thank God for a wife that is still giving grace, because God knows we would be in a lot of fights. We would be maybe constantly fighting if it was always dependent on me remembering something she told me.
But women, this is why it's easy to give grace. You know, we can say all the things that women do and with kids and all these things. The truth of the matter is, it's got to be tough out here to be a man and a husband. And all of what they have on their minds, all of what they have on their hearts. So sometimes I had to say, okay, I gotta get a little more grace. Now that is bad, take your whole church, you gotta do this. And so maybe I'm gonna have to say it 10 times. I just want to say it once, but Lord help me to say it sweet on time number 9. And if not, if that grass ain't cut, you just get out there and you do like I did it.
There's no way I don't need to cut it no more. The way I don't forget,
I just hired somebody to do it.
Every Tuesday, somebody's here to cut my grass, so I don't forget. All right, I gotta hurry. We gotta hurry. We do have a dinner reservation.
Okay,
so I've got no, because I would just keep talking. Here it is. Number 8. I think this husband and wives make concessions. For husbands, everything is not a deal breaker. Take it a step further. If you always get your way, you are not in a marriage. You're in a dictatorship.
You're in a dictatorship.
So if it's always about what you want, if you're always throwing fits when it doesn't go your way and you're not willing to bend, okay? Blessed are the pliable because they'll never be broken.
Yes.
The beauty of marriage is pliability. You've got to be able to change. You've got to be able to move. You've got to be able to make concessions. You've got to be willing to say, and I say this a lot. And Phineka, I'm sure, says it a lot. And it's probably the reason why we don't fight and our marriage is not dysfunctional as Hades.
Yeah.
Whenever something comes up that gets under my skin, the first thing I ask myself is this: is this one even worth fighting about?
Yeah.
The way I vet it, the way I vet something that irritates me is asking myself, is this one worth it? Because everything that gets under your skin is not worth the blow up. All right?
Absolutely.
You got to ask, is this something that is going to cause unnecessary tension because I can't concede that it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
All right. For instance.
Yeah, let's give an instance. Yes, I like that. Yes.
Before we moved into the basement and before I bought Phineka her own makeup stand, guys, in our bathroom upstairs, listen, there would be makeup
it's like
everywhere.
Sephora and Ulta, baby.
I mean, from super scent to super petty to you name it, makeup.
Super babe.
Makeup was everywhere. Makeup was everywhere. There would be days I would come home, I would just roll my eyes. But then I had to make a decision. All right. I can deal with a wife that leaves makeup everywhere, or I could come home to a house that is always unkept, children that I got to do all their homework and I got to take them everywhere else they need to go. Can I make a concession and not really make a big deal about some dang makeup to preserve the peace of our house in a moment that would bring unnecessary tension? It wasn't that big of a deal. Now, I'm sure Phineka could give you 10 examples on me, but it's just one idea, one thought. If it's really not that big of a deal, why fight over it?
Absolutely.
It don't always have to be your way. All right.
Absolutely. Number 9. Fall in love with what they love. Fall in love with what they love. Listen. I was cheerleader. I was dance girl. I don't have a sports bone in my body. Oh, now I could. I was a good runner. I ran track. I can run. I have to tell a story about why I would run and get my daddy money for his extracurricular activities. But anyhow, that's another story. But I could run fast. Y'all, I didn't watch no sports and all this here stuff and no sports center. Y'all, I be on there watching. I'm like, babe, did you see what such and such did? I started getting excited because it was something that made him excited. And because he would get excited. And before I was like, well, let me just go in another room and, watch whatever or go craft. I was a heavy craft. I made shoes and all this stuff. And I started saying, instead of separating during this time, let me come in and maybe try to learn some of what he watching, because the man of God is all enamored up in this here thing, and so let me just see and I started enjoying it. At first, I just did it as a time to say, well, he gonna watch it. I'm just gonna leave sitting here and just look at him, and just to be up on him. Right. And then I started enjoying. I started saying, well, can we go to this game? And can we do all of this? And now I still ain't got him as excited about homework.
I'm getting there though.
As I have gotten about Sports Center.
Now that's
but
true.
He will sit and watch it. Now, a lot of times I tell him go on because he try to ruin it. He gonna give it her, and yeah, they gonna go back home, and
And guys, I've got to the point where I go in Hobby Lobby.
He will.
I go in Home Goods.
He will. I like to decorate, so I'll be up making my little boards of things I want to do at the house, and I'll be like, babe, what do you think? He I know when his voice go up, this real like, because all mamas do it to our kids. Say, wow. Oh, okay.
Wow, this is powerful.
He really.
Wow. Wow.
I'm like, babe, come and walk in here. I gotta show you something I saw, and I'll be like, he be like, oh, okay, babe.
Yeah. Another case in point, guys. I hate trying on clothes.
He does.
Phineka will order bags of clothes.
I
Boohoo,
will.
Fashion Nova.
And baby, I want him to do a full fashion show.
She want me to try on everything you
like spin around.
But here's the thing.
I have to tell him how good I love that.
But here's the thing. She makes me try all this stuff on, but she don't try her stuff on till the night before she has to wear it. So I can't figure out where I don't.
But you be looking so good.
I don't get what.
I think I buy stuff to see him in the fashion show.
I don't understand why I gotta walk around wearing clothes that I don't feel. And she'll wait. I mean, she'll wait till I get ready to get in bed. She's like, woo. No, let me tell you how she does it. Lord, I gotta hurry. We gotta get to the next one. This is what she does now. She'll buy these clothes. I won't see them when I come home. I'll get in the shower and I rarely go into my room till it's time to go to bed. I will get ready to go.
Baby, I got them laid out.
They are laid out on my side of it. Y'all, I start cussing in my head. And that's when I realized this is a deal breaker for me tonight. Tonight, this is a deal. Phineka, I ain't trying on these clothes. I am not trying on these clothes tonight. I ain't doing it.
I like the fashion show. Thank you, Lord.
All right. So fall in love with what they love. All right, number 10. We got Lord. All right, number 10. Less gifts, more memories.
Yeah.
Now, it was probably the last 3 years since we moved to Atlanta. I think we've made a conscious decision to, and even though we do exchange gifts, we don't exchange nearly as many, even for like days like this anniversary this year, there wasn't an exchanging of gifts.
Yeah.
What we have decided is whenever we can and as often as we can, we plan moments to make memories. So, for instance, this year for my birthday, I decided I want to go to St. Lucia. Let's go to St. Lucia and let's just go spend 4 or 5 days there. And where we would have invested money in other things, gift purchases, we took some of those monies and went to make memories.
Yeah.
What I've learned is we will forget about a gift, but we'll never forget about a memory that we make.
Absolutely.
So you can buy them you can buy them clothes, dresses, you can do all that stuff today. And when they can't wear it anymore or it's going out of style, it'll be gone. Yeah. But when you make memories will last 40 years down the line, 50 years down the line. You'll be able to look at pictures and reflect on things that you've done, accomplishments you've made. I've got a hit list of places I want to go. Phineka's got a list of places that she wants to see. And what I love to do is randomly picking the place that we're going to go see this year and just making it happen. So like this year for Mother's Day, we're supposed to...
Don't even talk about it.
Okay, so we were supposed to go to Hawaii this year for Mother's Day, right after Mother's Day. But Corona be gonna got the best of us. So, instead, like this coming week for our anniversary, we're just going to go to a cabin for 3-4 days and just spend time away before we get back in the full hustle and bustle of everything with ministry going into June and July. So what we've done is instead of just buying stuff to say we bought each other stuff, we craft out time to make memories. And memories, I promise you, have been the driving point that has probably helped keep us healthy. Like we try our best. We'll do something with our girls a couple times a year, but we try our best 3 to 4 times a year to get away and just have time for us to make memories. So make memories.
Let me also say, listen, and if money is an issue, okay, I want to say this. If money is an issue, because there were times where we could not take a trip but to Walmart, okay, across the street to the park or somewhere. Listen, we did a date night where everybody get to pull up from that night. We've stayed in a castle. We've gone to St. Lucia. We've done all of these things. That day, I'll be old and no teeth, and I'll never forget the night that he barbecued, that he, had our outfits laid out, And he was so intentional about a date until it is a memory I'll never forget. A lot of things that create memory is just intentionality.
Yep.
And once he was intentional, he's taken me all of those places, and nothing has stopped him letting me be in his arms and dancing the night away. I mean, I don't know how many songs we danced to that night. And to me, that was the most beautiful thing, because typically dancing is something that he would never do. But he was so intentional about that night. So even in making memories, guys, it's just being intentional. It's not about how much money you're spending, but it's about the intentionality. If you're going to do a picnic, go all out with the picnic. Yeah. Save up your money. If you know this is something, you want to do, carve out some time. Pull $20 back. Pull $30 back. Price your trip out. You know what I'm saying? So you won't be maxing nothing out. Price your trip out and save up to those things. Even if you have to do delayed gratification for those things, for those memories. But I always tell people, when we didn't have a dime, we always shared a good laugh. Yep. And some of those laughters were the things that kept us going. Well, they say you have to laugh to keep from crying. And those are the memories. Even when our utilities were cut off, and even when things was happening with us financially, and we was on government, all these things, what I remember more than that is the memories of laughter. Even in that, that's why sometimes I get on these lives and we get to talking about it, and I don't think about that stuff anymore. And I almost burst into tears, because once we get into it, I was like, oh my God, it really was bad. But we didn't even know it was that bad, because even as bad as it was to the outside world, we never stopped making memories. Absolutely. We never stopped laughing. We never stopped doing things with our kids. We still played games sitting outside while our utilities were cut off with our kids to eat dinner. Yeah. Those are the memories that I choose. So I don't want you to say, you know what I'm saying, to say, oh, well, I can't afford to go such and such and such. That ain't even things that help make memories, guys. Just make memories. Do something. Let's not say, oh no, I don't really want to go out tonight. That wife keep asking, get your little hips up. Hips. Put you some clothes on. Yep. Don't be just putting no jeans on out there looking fuddy-duddy. Get all nice. Go look all nice. And get out there and make you some memories. Yep. And make you some memories. Because what you never want to do is live in regret of what you should have done when you had time. Yep. All right, let's keep
last two, and we're gonna let y'all go.
All right, now
we've held this one. This one probably would have been higher ranked.
All right, now number 11. Passport this one down, because this was my number one.
No, this not. I didn't pull it down.
It wasn't my own number one, but let me just tell you something.
It probably would have been a little bit higher. Let's go.
Let me just tell you something. Don't y'all be out here being boring, woman of God. Stop being boring. Listen, I don't know why.
Thank you.
People feel like this is for the married, or even unmarried. Just listen. That sex is only for the man. Who said that? Who said we can't enjoy? Who said we can't initiate? Who said I can't buy him a little Tarzan outfit? Who said we can't play cops and robbers? Who said I can't buy my Cool Whip? Who said I can't go on AdamandEve.com?
Who in charge?
Who is in charge? Who's in charge of the boring police? Boo! Listen, I wanted to say this as a woman, because a lot of times, y'all, I'd have been in, Lord, I hope ain't nobody on here. We'd have been in counseling. Folks say, well, you got your kids, it's funny. You understand? You don't want to be having sex right now. I don't understand. I don't understand because I like it. But listen, I promise you, this was the type of stuff. I want to let y'all in on my prayer life. This is for the married women. Now, this is for the married women. I said, Lord, let this body work real good tonight. I'm serious. Y'all don't think I pray like that? Y'all don't think I say that? Y'all don't think? Let me get real close, because that's how I be praying. I said, Lord, let it work real good tonight, okay? Let us have a real good time. Let my body just work and respond.
Work.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm serious. Y'all, I know, and I wanted to say it as a woman, because a lot of times we hear men saying that type of stuff. I'm going to be the one tapping Precious. He want to be like, whoo, I've been on set 10 hours a day. I said, you got an hour for me? Now, don't you overwork yourself, bro? Hey, you know what? I don't even need it. Hey, you ain't even got to move. Hey, I just need you to lay there. Hey, huh? Listen, I'm saying it, but I'm dead serious. Don't be out here boring.
Now I'm gonna take it a little step. I'm gonna take it a step.
Yeah, you boy.
Boy, there are more. Now we have a group that we support as it pertains to doing the work of the Lord in Africa, and they are there for the next 3-4 years. We call them missionaries, and and I appreciate their work as missionaries in other places, but I want there to be an evolution beyond the missionary.
I want to travel to other places.
I want you to travel to other places. I want you to travel to other rooms.
Yeah.
I want you to.
A lot of your furniture is much more sturdy than you think. Hey, I'm over 220, baby. Huh?
Furniture is pretty strong.
Pretty strong.
And if your furniture is not strong, there's a couple of websites where you can buy furniture, portable. Listen. You can slide it under your bed and pull it out on an as-need basis. There are things you can hang from the beams, and there's so many different ways.
Had a hook put in professionally. I said, well,
there's so many different ways.
Don't worry about it. I just need it. So listen, how much weight? They can hold. I need it to hold about 550. I need you to put a hook coming out of the ceiling about 550. And y'all, I done gave the room to my little bitty kids. They said, Mama, can we hang a thing to make our fort from that? No, so you don't want to know what your mom and daddy has hung from that.
Fort can't hold from that.
God bless the name of our God.
Fort cannot hold from that. So I'm saying, we're saying all this to say the last place that should die is your bedroom. All right.
Absolutely.
Now, granted, you spend more time on your feet than you do on your back, but while you're on your back, you ought to enjoy being there.
That's
all
right.
So you gotta be able. We are saying this as pastors. I want you to hear me and hear me well. I believe the whole scroll, all 66 books, and Song of Solomon will bless your life if you read it the right way.
If you read it and let it bless you.
I need you to read it and read it well. Get it in the Message version so it'll put it in plain English and tell you about all of the delicacies that are included in this whole package that we now call.
But women,
in Jesus' name,
it's okay to tap him sometimes. Listen. I promise you, I believe it turns a man on when a woman get out there and take charge.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And before you come home, let me tell you what I'm going to do to you.
Bedroom ministry.
Because it starts. So this is the thing, and this is what I've learned even in counseling when we used to do. We don't do it no more, okay? But we used to counsel. Is that a lot of times for women where it was tough for them is the men wasn't loving all day. I ain't getting no kiss, I ain't getting no sugar. I ain't asking nothing about my day. You ain't asking
bust it down, Tatiana.
You ain't saying about these kids, nothing about this house or whatever. I done cooked and all this here. And all those things go unnoticed. And then at nighttime, you want to touch. Not man of God. Now, let me just tell you something. For us, sex started in our minds, okay? For y'all,
we are on demand.
Y'all can sleep and bam. Okay? But for us, we need a little bit more caressing. And foreplay is more than that little hot tog on my neck, okay? That foreplay, let me tell you what foreplay looks like. Foreplay looks like, let me take this laundry up these stairs. And let me start this load of laundry. I'm not just going to start the load of laundry for you. I'm going to take this laundry out. It gets real sexy right here. And then I'm going to fold this like, good God from Zion. I'm almost naked. And baby, when they put that laundry up, baby, I'm going to be stark naked when you get in here. That, my dear, is foreplay. Foreplay is, I don't want you to have to go out there and pump your gas. I'm going to go out there and pump your gas. And when you get in your car and you say, dang, my car is filled up on gas. That right there, baby, that is foreplay. When you don't know how to cook and you learn how to cook. Baby, be down there naked. You hear what I'm saying? Baby, that right there is foreplay.
Amazing Grace is not foreplay.
Amazing Grace is
Hammond,
not.
I love Fred Hammond.
I love them.
But
I love them.
No weapon is not, don't set the move.
Get just something that's going to get
Kirk,
you.
I love you. I love you with all my heart.
We don't want to just stop there, We want to, we want to get in Betty Right. We want to get in some of these. Oh Lord, why I say her name? Wait. Keep talking, because that thing, they cut me. Just said her name, Lord. Betty's gone.
How sweet the sound. Swing low, sweet chariot. They don't do it. No, Lord.
Jesus.
No.
But in all seriousness, in actuality, man, I promise you, you start doing some of those things I named, And some of that nighttime activity gonna pick up. I promise you. I promise you, a helping hand, baby. That is the best foreplay, Hunter, you can ever do for a woman.
If you give her,
can I get an amen, ladies?
If you give her a helping hand, she'll help you with yours, with hers. Amen.
Amen.
Number 12. This is very simple. Never stop loving. Now, this is it. We're gonna let y'all go. We're gonna get ready to go to dinner. Never.
And I'm gonna change outfits.
Never stop loving. In 12 years, I'll be honest, we've had more valleys than we've had mountaintops. But when we made a commitment to love for better or for worse, we made a commitment that no matter what, we would never stop loving one another. Yeah. And I think it has been the thing that has given us the longevity. And I say longevity, like 12 years is a long time. Yeah. And it's really just the beginning. But when you make a decision, all these women saying amen to that, when you make a decision to never stop loving one another, you will see that even when they get on your nerves, I still love you.
Yeah.
And even when it is difficult, and even when our ends are not meeting and our conversation and communication is here, because I choose to love you, love will make you concede. Love will make you bear burdens that you didn't think you were designed to carry. Love will make you say in the hardest moments, I wouldn't want to have it hard with anybody but them.
Yeah.
Make a decision to never stop loving one another. Yeah. I think the only reason we have made it these 12 years, because there have been more opportunities for us to walk away than there has been for us to stay in it.
Say that again, because I think a lot of times people don't be real with it. Yeah. Oh, I had some bad days. But the good days out with the bad days. Yeah, we had some bad days.
More opportunities to walk away.
Say that.
Than we have to stay in it. What has kept us in it is the decision to never stop loving. We've loved when it was difficult.
Yeah.
We've loved when our bodies have changed. We've loved when we've added on children. We have loved, in very, very hard moments. And this is why I say, many people now think that this season of our life is just a big mountaintop. That even in this season, there's been valleys.
Yeah.
But because we've survived so many valleys, we've learned how to maneuver in the low places and how to weather storms until we get back where we need to get. Absolutely. So guys, never stop loving. Make this, and this probably should be one of them. Just add this on as a bonus and as a tag. Surround yourself with other healthy marriages that have a longer life than yours does. Be sure you've got people that you can look to and look for that have longevity beyond yours, where you can learn from their mistakes and their misery and be better in your marriage because you fortified yourself with wisdom. Once you have arrived at a place in marriage where you're not trying to take counsel from people that have not been where you're trying to go, you'll learn that if they made it that far, surely we can too. Yeah. So I thank God for, even in our church, being able to glean at a distance and up close from those that have been married 20 and 30 and some even 40 years of marriage, and learn from their bad and their good to make us better. Never stop loving.
And listen, I know a lot of times before marriage, we put a lot of emphasis on premarital counseling. Listen, you've been married 2 months, 4 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever. Counseling is always a must. Yes. Okay. And sometimes you don't just need to go to somebody at your church. Okay. You need to get you somebody that's licensed.
Now, and listen, and with her saying this, I want you all to hear me. This week, I start counseling back up. Like this week. Ain't nothing wrong. This ain't even for us. I'm doing it for me so I can be a better me for her. So I'm this week, there's an app that I have discovered, and it came to me through a very, what I would consider to be wise counsel.
Yeah.
To say, hey, if you can't get to a counselor because of everything that's going on, here's how we can do it. And you can still have an opportunity to speak with a licensed, credentialed individual to help you sort through everything that's going on in your head and in your heart. Okay?
Yes, because see, a lot of times we don't have blueprints. Like we always say as parents, we don't have blueprints for what. No two marriages are the same, and sometimes you need somebody that kind of help flush some of that stuff out before you dump it here. You know what I mean? Counseling. No, it ain't your Aunt Lulu. No, it ain't your Auntie Mary, and no, it ain't your brother's pastor down in Ohio.
Ray can't give it to you.
You get you somebody with some learning and some degrees.
So
and you get on that couch.
So I'll give you all this, and typically, like in this type of setting, I wouldn't just kind of drop this piece, but I'll even leave it in the comments. It's called
the babysitter.
It's called a better help. A better help. All right, and wherever you are in the entire world, you can find a counselor, therapist that suits you, that fits what you need and where you're going in your life, so that you can become the best version of you that is humanly possible.
Yeah.
Well, guys, y'all may not have heard that, but the door just went off. And I thank God for Chaselyn walking in the door, because that means that we can run away. It means that at least for a couple hours, we do not have to be parents. We can celebrate 12 years, and we are going to do just that. Guys, we love you so much. Thank you all for helping us celebrate.
Yay, happy anniversary.
Celebrate 12 years together. For everyone that gave in the super chat.
Oh, tell the app again, baby. Tell the app again.
Thank you for that. BetterHelp. Yep, BetterHelp. BetterHelp. Yep. So everyone that gave in any of those scenarios, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. We'll be back Thursday night.
Yeah, so Thursday night will be our part 3 of transition.
Managing transitions. Yes. Yep. So that's part 3 Thursday. And again, we have enjoyed you all so much, and we thank you for being a part. Thank you so much. And y'all have a tremendous evening.